Hey, friend, welcome to another episode of Start That Business. Today, I am pausing to celebrate my 100th episode of Start That Business podcast. Yay! Drum roll, please. I am so excited. I went back to my podcast list to see the last time I celebrated, and it was on my 60th episode. And I was like, Chichi, what is going on? You have not been celebrating. Well, today I said I am going to pause and acknowledge 100 episode because I know that it has not been easy to pull it off. So I celebrate myself. I am also celebrating you. Thank you so much for coming alongside me on this journey, listening every week, tuning in every week, listening, putting the things you hear into actions, leaving reviews, sending questions, and just supporting this journey. I am very grateful that I have the kind of community I have listening every week. You guys keep me accountable, even when I am feeling tired, even when my life is like a whirlwind. I remind myself, I say, Chichi, these people are going to show up next week for a new episode. You better get up and get to recording. So thank you for making this journey worthwhile. Thank you for keeping me accountable. Thank you for helping me show up every week. Because you are listening, it helps me show up every week, regardless of what is going on in my life. And I didn't just want to gloss over this milestone. I wanted to pause and acknowledge you. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. In today's episode, we're going to look at the life of the ants. Yes, we're going to learn 5 steps to build unstoppable accountability by looking at the ants in Proverbs. Yes, and it's going to be an interesting one, kind of like a Bible study, like a business Bible study, if there's anything like that. But you're going to leave this episode empowered, equipped, ready to crush your goals in 2025. All right, I'm excited. Let's jump right into today's episode. Today's episode is sponsored by the Ladies School, Houston's first modern finishing school. The Ladies School offers a modern, transformative experience that empowers you to enhance your personal, business, and professional value. If you want to polish your confidence, be known for high value, grace, elegance, and refinement, then join the Ladies School for an online class or an in-person experience in Houston, Texas. Go to theladieschool.com to register today. Are you ready to streamline your focus and get clarity to start your online service-based business? Are you tired of struggling with lack of clarity, self-doubt, and the fear of being a public failure? Do you wish you had a clear plan you could follow to make your calling a reality? Hey friend, you don't have to stay stuck any longer. With a renewed mindset and a clear plan, you can start a business that fulfills your calling and makes a profit. I'm your host, Chichi Ukomado, a Christian business coach, Jesus follower, and a 7-figure service-based entrepreneur. In this podcast, I'll teach you how to streamline your focus, get clarity on your business idea, create your business launch plan, set up your business essentials, and launch your sustainable and profitable business from scratch. You will get tons of encouragement, godly wisdom, and accountability to grow in your faith and new business journey. It's time to partner with God and take your first step to start that business. You know the one I'm talking about? Yes, that one you've been putting off for a long time. The greatest accountability one can ever have is internal accountability. And the reason I say that is because in my life, I have observed that even when I had external accountability, because I was not internally motivated, I still didn't get my goals accomplished. I still didn't complete certain tasks because the external person that is keeping you accountable can only go as far as you are internally motivated to do whatever they're trying to help you to do. And I see the same thing with some of my coaching clients. Some come to me and they are like, oh, I want to start a podcast or I want to start a business. Then we do the first session and I create a plan. I remember one example in particular. This coaching client came to me and she said, I want to create content for a month for my YouTube channel so that I can be consistent. So we mapped out all the things that she needed to create content for a whole month. But guess what? I never heard from her. And this is not the first time I've experienced this. I have coaching clients who come and say, oh, I want to start a podcast. I create a plan for them so that they can start executing, but they never follow through. So the external accountability is there, but because they are not internally motivated, even with the strategy, even with the implementation plan, even with the external accountability, they still don't get that goal done. The internal accountability is the foundation for a successful external accountability. So if you are not internally motivated, if you're not internally driven, even when you get external accountability, you will still not get your goals accomplished. Well, let's go to Proverbs and let's see how the ants, let's see a picture of what internal accountability looks like from the life of the ants. I'm reading Proverbs 6, verse 6 to 9 in the NLT translation. It says, take a lesson from the ants, you lazy bones. Learn from their ways and become wise. Though they have no prince or governor or ruler to make them work, may I add, or external accountability coach. Verse 8 says, they labor hard all summer, gathering food for the winter. But you, lazy bones, how long will you sleep? When will you wake up? So whenever I read this proverb about the ants, I'm always blown away. I'm like, how can such little creatures be so internally motivated that they don't need anything external to get them to do what they need to do? It blows my mind. No wonder the author of Proverbs says, take a lesson from the ant. He says, go and study the ants. Go and learn from them and become wise. Learn how to build an unstoppable accountability from the life of the ant. Now, the 5 steps to build an unstoppable accountability like the ant is, number 1, cultivate self-discipline. So like the ant, they take personal responsibility for their task. They don't wait around for any external supervision. In the scripture we read, it says they have no prince, they have no governor, they have no ruler, nothing external. They have cultivated this deep sense of self-discipline that helps them take responsibility for their life, take responsibility for their task, and they are able to rise and do what they need to do. They have built systems where you hold yourself accountable without needing someone to tell you what to do, so that when you even get that external accountability, it's giving you a boost to accomplish your goal faster because you already have the foundation of internal accountability, personal responsibility. You have already cultivated self-discipline. The second step you need to build unstoppable accountability is to plan ahead and prepare. Now, if you look at the ants are proactive. So like the ants, they gather all summer. They know that when winter comes, it's going to be cold. They are not going to be able to go out to go gather anything. So they plan ahead. They are proactive. They gather all summer for the winter. So how does that apply to you? Maybe you have a goal you want to accomplish this year. Start each project or each goal by planning in advance. Identify what are the steps I need to take to accomplish this goal? What are the potential challenges so that you are prepared to handle these things when they come? It reminds me of my PCL framework. My PCL framework, the P stands for plan. I always start every goal by planning. I ask myself, when am I launching this goal? What are the steps I need to take to accomplish this goal? Why is this goal important to me? So I take time to plan the different pieces in that first stage called the P. The third step you need to build unstoppable accountability is to work consistently. So don't wait for motivation. Some people, or some of us, me included, I am not excluded from this. Me included, sometimes I just lollygag and take my jolly old time. I'm waiting for motivation to hit me like a lightning bulb. But if you look at the ants, it says they are not waiting around for any motivation. They don't have any ruler, no governor, nothing external to motivate them. So don't wait for motivation to hit you like a lightning bulb. Set a steady rhythm for your work and commit to consistent progress. So commit to progress over perfection. Now, consistent progress doesn't mean that you will not miss some days. You will miss some days. I was listening to a recording from one of my mentors this week, and she was talking about her system and the things she does to live the kind of life she lives and do everything she's doing. And she said something that stuck with me that was very profound. And she said that she made a decision and committed to becoming consistent at trying to be consistent. Does that make sense? So what she meant by that is she committed to consistently trying to be consistent. So meaning, let's take, for example, she set a goal to work out, to take 10,000 steps every day. So that is her goal. Her daily goal is to take 10,000 steps every day. Now, on Monday, she takes 10,000 steps. On Tuesday, she takes 10,000 steps. Maybe on Wednesday, she has a heavy workload and she's not able to make Wednesday. Guess what she does? She doesn't beat herself up and say, oh, I broke the streak. Oh, I've messed the goal up. On Thursday, she picks back up and continues to take the step. So that's what it means to be consistent at trying to be consistent. It means when you fall off, you don't beat yourself up. You bounce back the next day and you keep trying to be consistent. I don't know if you remember the episode I did where I talked about habit and how you should think about habits from the mindset of voting, from the mindset of an election. So habits are an election where every day you cast a vote. So that is what it means to be consistent at trying to be consistent. So if I miss casting a vote on my habit today, guess what? Tomorrow is another day to cast my vote. If I miss a whole week from casting a vote on my habit, guess what? The following week is an opportunity to pick back up. So walk consistent and become consistent at trying to be consistent. Now you know what that means. Before I share the fourth step to build unstoppable accountability, let us hear a word from our sponsors. Today's episode is sponsored by the Lady School, Houston's first modern finishing school. If you want to polish your confidence, be known for high value, grace, elegance, and refinement, then join the Lady School for an online class or an in-person experience in Houston, Texas. Go to theladyschool.com to register today. Now, the fourth step you can take to build unstoppable accountability is to align your personal responsibility with group goals. What do I mean by that? You need to understand that your individual efforts contribute to a bigger picture. So whether you are part of a team, part of a family, part of an organization, the organization can even be your own business. You might have team members that you're accountable to. So you need to recognize how your actions move the entire system forward and take ownership of that impact. Take ownership of the impact of your work. So let me use myself as an example. Now, I have this coaching business, and my job is to record an episode every week. I have social media or podcast manager who is waiting for me to finish recording this episode so that they can take it and send it to the editor and write out a podcast description and get everything ready. So imagine if I do not record this episode, it's going to throw the whole sequence of activities that need to be done afterwards off because I didn't take responsibility for doing my own part. So align your personal responsibility with the group goals. You're in a family, you're the mom, you're supposed to make dinner. If you don't make dinner, it throws the whole family off. So that's the fourth step to build an unstoppable accountability. The fifth step to build unstoppable accountability is to avoid laziness and complacency. Oh, yes. I would say I am guilty of this one, especially in the winter months. I find that in the winter months, when it gets really cold, it's a bit tough for me to get things done. I just want to sleep in and just cover myself and drink multiple cups of tea and chillax because it's just the weather just makes you lazy. But we have to go back to the ants. Again, what does he say about the ants? He says that they walk all summer so that they can chill during the winter. So take action before procrastination takes root or before procrastination becomes the order of the day. No matter how little progress you're making, even in the winter months, make sure that you are still making some kind of progress towards your goal. Challenge yourself to break the cycle of procrastination, of hesitation, and get started on that goal. Get started on those things you wrote on your vision board, those things you wrote out that you're going to do in 2025. Break that cycle of laziness, unwillingness. Laziness simply means unwillingness to do what you have proposed to do. And there's always a cost or price to pay for laziness. And one of the scriptures I like in Proverbs 31 is one of the scriptures I'm meditating on this year. And I can't remember the verse exactly, but it says that she lacks nothing from laziness. No, it says she suffers nothing from laziness. And that's the kind of woman I want to become in 2025. I want to suffer nothing from laziness because laziness has its consequence. Unwillingness has its consequence. When I'm unwilling to get up and record a podcast episode, there's a consequence for that. So I encourage you, just like I'm encouraging myself, to break that cycle of procrastination, break that cycle of unwillingness, of laziness. Just like the ant, don't waste time. Create a system that can keep you moving forward, even when you're tempted to be lazy or just snuggle up and do nothing. Create a system that prioritizes progress over perfection so that you're getting 1% better every day, 1% closer to accomplishing your goals every day. All right, let's recap real quick. 5 steps to build unstoppable accountability, lessons from the ants. The first one is to cultivate self-discipline. The second is to plan ahead and prepare. The third is to work consistently. The fourth is to align personal responsibility with group goals. And the fifth is to avoid laziness and complacency. Every year, entrepreneurs create goals, and some of them don't have the strategy, the implementation plan, and the accountability they need to make that goal a reality. How do I know? I used to be one of those entrepreneurs. So one of the best decisions I made this year was to help you achieve your goal faster. I created the Launch in 30 Days coaching mentorship program to help you take action and make massive progress in just 30 days. This is the same program I used to launch my podcast in 30 days, to launch my website in 30 days, to launch several businesses for other customers in 30 days. Now, this program will give you the strategy you need to launch your goal. It has a 30-day implementation plan that breaks your goal into daily steps you can complete. It also has a weekly accountability check-in to keep you on track every week. This program is perfect for new entrepreneurs, existing entrepreneurs, wannabe entrepreneurs. So whether you want to launch a podcast like I did, or you want to build a website like I did, or you want to launch a new service, or you want to take the idea God has given you and actually make it a reality this year, this program is definitely for you. I am opening registration on January 24th, 2025, and I only have 12 spots. Because of my other responsibilities, I want to make sure that I spend quality time with everyone in this program to make sure that they launch whatever business goal they have in 30 days. So if you are one of my 12 who is ready, who is excited, committed to crush that business goal in 30 days, go to launchin30days.com to register so that you will be the first to know when I open registration. The website is spelled LAUNCHINTHIRTYDAYS.com, or you can type L30D.com. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7 in the TPT version says, "Wisdom is the most valuable commodity, so buy it." Revelation knowledge is what you need, so invest in it. Make a decision to invest in yourself and your business this year, and you would not regret it. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. I'll meet you here next week. A big thank you to the Ladies School for making today's episode possible. If you want to polish your confidence, be known for high value, grace, elegance, and refinement, then join the Ladies School for an online class or an in-person experience in Houston, Texas. Go to theladiesschool.com to register today. Thank you for listening to today's episode. I hope you learned something new and you were encouraged to take action. If so, will you stop right now and share this episode with someone so they can get the help you just got? I would also love it if you can leave a review for this podcast on Apple Podcast or the podcast app you're using to listen. This is the number one way I know you're getting value from the content on this podcast. Until next time, always remember you have all you need to start that business. So keep listening for more episodes. I'll meet you here next week.